Come closer. والذي نفسي بيده ليمسكن أي يهلككم ثم مريم أثمن فيكسر الصليب ويقتل الخنزير ويضع الجزية ويفيض المال حتى لا يقبل وله أحد حتى تكون السجن في الآخرة خيرا من الدنيا والآخرة ثم يقول أيضا اقرأوا إن شئتم وإن من أهل الكتاب إلا ليؤمنن به قبل. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعن أبي هريرة قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم والذي نفسي بيده ليوشكن أن ينزل فيكم ابن مريم. That very soon, very close, Ibn Maryam alayhi salam will descend amongst you. Hakaman, he will come as a ruler. Adlan adil, just. فيكسر الصليب, he will break the cross. ويقتل خنزيرا, he will kill the خنزير. ويضع الجزية, and you can say for the time being, we explain this, he will waive the jizya. ويفيض الماء حتى لا يقبله أحد, and wealth will flow freely until nobody wants to accept it. حتى تكون من الدنيا وما فيها, until one sajda will be better the entire dunya and what is in it. ثم يقول أبو هريرة, as Abu Hurairah recited, فقرأ, read. You don't believe what I'm saying, you read it and see. Like I say, like you don't want to believe what I'm saying, go read yourself. وإن شئتم, right, if you want. وإن من أهل الكتاب, that none from the أهل الكتاب will be إلا لا يؤمنن به, except that he will believe به, in him, يعني Isa عليه السلام, قبل موته, before his death. Right, متفق عليه. There's a متفق عليه, right? Okay, several things discussed. The first thing, hakama, he will come as a hakim, as a ruler. He will come as a ruler. He will be in a rulership position, adilan, and he will be just. So also, although this will be the mandate of Isa alayhi salam, he will come as a just ruler. But what do you learn from this? That any person in a position of trust, all of us who are in position of trust in different capacities, others use the highest position, you are the Khalifa of the entire Muslim Ummah, or maybe you're the Khalifa of you are the premier of a province, or you're the mayor of the town, or you are the head of a business, or you're the principal of a school, or you're the teacher, or you're a father, or you're a parent. كلكم راء وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. Every one of you is a ruler, and every one of you will be answerable, right? So from this you learn that the most important thing is that you have to be just in whatever you do, not to fear favor nor criticism. If I lenient to this person, he will show me favor. If I implement the law in the strictest sense to this person will criticize me, right? To be just. That is the most salient feature of a person that is in a position of trust, right? فَيَكْسِرُ الصَّلِيبَ, he will break the crucifix. You know the difference between a cross and a crucifix? What's the difference? A cross is where all the sides are the same. You know the four sides of the cross, all is the same length. A crucifix, just speak about Riyadh. The crucifix is the where the one portion is longer. So you say the vertical portion is longer than the horizontal portion. And in previous times, like in medieval times, so to say, that if they want to punish a person, he would be nailed to a cross, a crucifix, right? So here it says, فَيَكْسِرُ الصَّلِيبَ. So remember that the Christians, they believe that as Isa alayhi salam was nailed to the cross, right? And he passed away on the cross. And after that, he was revived and he was raised to the heavens, right? Are you with me? But we as Muslims, remember, this is critical, this is important. We believe that Isa alayhi salam was not nailed to the cross. I discussed this in the last lesson. Before the Yahud or the Romans, they got hold of him, Allah Ta'ala changed the person who came to fetch him's face, and he was the one that was nailed to the cross, and Isa alayhi salam was raised to the heavens. So this is very, very important because sometimes, we go to school, we're exposed to the media, so we are exposed to their narrative, and the result of that, we forget the proper Islamic belief with regard to that. So are you with me now, right? Now, what this means here is that if you look today, the dominant narrative in the world is that Isa alayhi salam was nailed to the cross and he was given life after that. Then he was raised to the heavens. So what this could mean here is that it means that maybe physically Isa alayhi salam will break the cross, but more what it means is he will debunk this narrative. He will debunk this narrative that he was nailed to the cross. And he will come and establish the true Islamic narrative. Are you with me? That he was raised to the heavens. Anyway, this is the reason why you find that the Christians, they revere and they respect the cross because they believe in Isa alayhi salam, or rather the crucifix. He was nailed to the crucifix. How funny, actually it's ironical that crucifix, according to them, was the cause of the death and the humiliation of their God, but yet they revere and they respect it. Isn't that, so to say, funny? They worship it. I don't know if you ever see sometimes you see the cross to make like this. If you saw that, maybe in Al. And some of the crucifix even have like a little statue of Isa alayhi salam. And the interesting thing about that, nowadays you see in the news or you see in the pictures, they have a picture of Isa alayhi salam. The interesting thing is that the person who hijacked Christianity, his name was Constantine. They were the Roman Empire, and the Roman Empire was waning, and the Roman Empire was losing credibility. They were mushriks, they believed in this pagan, they used to believe in the Lord of the Wind and all that type of thing. So he hijacked the Christian religion to gain relevance, and he used the image of his own son, and he portrayed that and projected that to be the picture of Isa alayhi salam. They say he was such a evil person, such a licentious person. Until today, we accept that same image that Isa alayhi salam was this white man, fair man with blonde hair, etc. When this was the son of a evil dictator that hijacked the Christian religion. And Isa alayhi salam wasn't a fair person. He wasn't a European. He was from the Jew, and the original Jew was dark in color. The original Jew was dark in color. That is why the previous president of Egypt, I think it was Kamal Abu Nasir, he said there will never be peace in Palestine. Why? Because the Jews left from here dark skin and they came back fair skin. So it doesn't mean that they changed from dark skin. That was the real Jew that was exiled from here 400,000 years ago. He was a dark skinned person. These people that come here, they're chances, they're imposters, they're not. That is why they say even if you do their DNA test, you will find that the Palestinians are more Semitic than what the Jews are. So that means by their own logic, by their own admission, the Palestinians has got more right to Palestine than because they say this is the land of the Semitics. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, that's all extra things. So Isa alayhi salam will come and Isa alayhi salam will come and he will break the cross. I told you, it means he will debunk all this false myths, etc. Then the next part of the hadith is, وَيَقْتُلُ الْخِنْزِيرَ. He will kill the khinzir. Now the khinzir is also, for the Christians, in fact in the hadith it comes also something like this, that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that like how we have Jews, they have alcohol. Like how we have lamb, we have mutton, we have the sheep, they have the khinzir. So this is the most, like one of the most beloved types of dishes, and something which they're very fond of. So what it means here is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, rather Isa alayhi salam, he will dispel this culture. He will reduce the influence. He will reduce the influence. He will reduce the influence, and Islam will gain traction and Islam will gain prominence. Are you with me? When one Islam gains traction and prominence, then everything of the Christians will wane. So we know the laws of khinzir, etc. Then the next part, وَيَضَعُ الْجِزْيَةَ. We will never do Kitabul Jihad here, but we'll do Kitabul Jihad shortly soon. Remember, when a Muslim country wages war with another country, you you give them three options. You become a Muslim and you become part of our, as part of the Muslim kingdom, you live under the Muslim Khalifa. Otherwise, you pay your jizya, then you give you peace, aman. And if not that, then we're going to make jihad with you. We're going to fight you, right? So jizya was basically say a tax that you pay to the Muslim ruler, and then you get the type of protection, etc., etc. So now, if you look in the Arabian Peninsula, there was only two things there: was jihad or Islam. That's why you don't find on the Arabian Peninsula any non-Muslim Arabs. Are you with me? So here, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam has already said that close on Qiyamah, there won't be the option of paying jizya when the Muslims once again engage in offensive jihad. The last time the Ummah engaged in offensive jihad was when the Ottoman Empire laid siege to Vienna, in Austria. It's about 315 years ago. Since then till today, this Ummah has been on the back foot. Since then till today, this Ummah has been on the back foot, unfortunately. Sheikh, you don't know where's our staple in there. So since then, this Ummah has been on the back foot. And maybe they've been always fighting defensive wars. So once again, when the Mahdi, when Isa alayhi salam comes and the Mahdi comes, then inshallah again we'll revert to the offensive jihad. So when they attack the non-Muslim, it will be either Islam or the Saif. There won't be the option of jizya. So now the question comes about, I mentioned to you earlier, I mentioned to you that Isa alayhi salam will not come as a prophet. He will not come as let's say, new Shariah. He will come to make tanfiz, to implement the Shariah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So the question comes about, how is it that he's going to change the Shariah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam? He's going to abolish the jizya, right? And I explained this before too, and I just mentioned again. It's like, a president of one country goes to another country. So when he's in the other country, he's not there as a president. Although in his home country, he's the president, but there he's not a president. There he's not a president. So same thing here. When Isa alayhi salam come to our ummah, he will be a Nabi. But he will be not commissioned as a Nabi of this ummah. So he doesn't have the right to change the laws of our ummah. So here he's not changing the laws of the ummah. It is something which Nabi Sallallahu mentioned. It is something, so he's just, Nabi Sallallahu already said that time there won't be jizya. So he's just acting on the command of Nabi Sallallahu. Are you with me? He's not implementing a new system. Or another way of looking at it, another way of explaining this is, look here, there won't be any non-Muslims. There will only be Islam and Saif. So if there's no non-Muslim, there's no jizya. So why I'm clarifying this point and I'm honing in this point, because with the Qadianis, they mustn't use it. They see what the new Nabi, what the new Shariah. You people say that no Nabi can come after Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No, no, you said Nabi from the last prophet. See, here Isa came and he's coming as a prophet and he's changing the Shariah. So we told you, no, he's not changing the Shariah. Two explanations you can give. Either that this is a command that Nabi mentioned, he's just implementing. He's making tanfiz. Tanfiz means to implement. Nafasa yunafiz. He's making tanfiz of the command of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What else you say that it's just that there will be no non-Muslims, so there will be no jizya. Are you with me? So this is like how in fiqh you also do this here. Intihai al-hukam bi-intihai al-illat. When the cause of a particular law is not there, then that law falls off. Like I'll give you another simple example of this. Like you'll do inshallah when you'll do this in Mishkaat Shareef, you'll do it in Bukhari Shareef, you'll do it in Hidayah Shareef, all of this. That is still wajib to have a ghusl on Friday today. So some ulama says wajib, but the preferred opinion is not wajib. And what I say that in the early stage of Islam, when the Masjid Nabawi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was very small, the roof was low, That was small. Sahaba Ikram would engage in a lot of physical labor. So they would come to the masjid, they would maybe perspiring, etc. So it would be a great deal of inconvenience, etc. But as the Sahaba Ikram became more affluent, they had more workers. Slaves came in from the different parts of the Muslim world, and the masjid grew bigger, and they could afford more soft, luxurious clothes. So then it wasn't they wouldn't perspire so much. So there was not that need for them to bath anymore. So this is called intiha'ul hukum bi intihai illah. Also one of the principles you'll do in fiqh, inshallah. We're doing Hidayah Shareef, we'll point it out to you that when the cause of something drops off, then the hukum drops off. So same thing here. The illat for jizya is not, it's not that you will change the Sharia, right? Then the next part, so that we're saying there, right? So ويفيض المال حتى لا يقبله أحد حتى تكون سجدة أهله خيرا من الدنيا وما فيها. So I told you this year, we discussed this last year in detail, that close to Qiyamah, there will be a lot of opulence, a lot of prosperity, there will be a lot of success, that people will, the wealth will flow so freely that people won't have so much wealth that even if you offer them, the qalas refer to a young camel, right? Or it's not in this hadith, in the other hadith suggests, وَيَفِيضُ الْمَاءُ حَتَّى لَا يَقْبَلُ أَحَدٌ حَتَّى تَكُونَ السِّوَاءُ, right? Yeah, the other hadith is mentioned in the next hadith that, yeah, فَلَا يَسْأَى عَلَيْهَا. But even, as I said, like how today, maybe we measure our wealth in property, or maybe a time will come, people measure their wealth in bitcoins, or maybe people measure their wealth in vehicles or something. The Arabs were very, very fond of camels, and they would measure their wealth in camels. So, um, nobody will be even interested because there will be such an abundance of wealth. And this will also be discussed and borne out in the next hadith. All right. Then the next one I told you, Abu Huraira discussed this verse as a proof. He said, وَإِنْ verily there will be none from amongst the Ahl al-Kitab except la yu'minanna bihi, he will believe bihi in this verse here referred to Isa alayhi salam qabla mawti, before his death. Right? So in the first coming of Isa alayhi salam, did everybody have the true belief of Isa alayhi salam? No. When he was alive, you can say maybe people had the true belief. But after that, there was an adulteration and an interpretation after the Christian religion was hijacked by the Roman by the Roman Empire. They what you call it? They came with this tasleeth and all that type of thing, with three gods, etc. To the wrong belief. So this verse is saying that everybody has the correct belief. Has it manifested itself? It hasn't manifested itself. So obviously it's going to manifest itself. And in order for it to manifest itself, what will happen? Isa alayhi salam have to come again. So you saw the reasoning. How from this verse you deduce that Isa alayhi salam will come back. There was another explanation. But the other explanation, if you take Mauti, he means that the Maut of Ahl Kitab, but you take it to mean the Maut of the Christian. It means every Christian, he will have the correct belief before he dies. So that refers to like what you see before you die, Allah Ta'ala opens up everything for you. Like same thing what remember what happened to Fir'aun. الآن وقد أصيت من قبل آمنت بالذي آمنت به بنو إسرائيل وأنا من المسلمين. I believe the same Rabb which the Bani Israel was too late. Allah Ta'ala says, الآن وقد أصيت من قبل وكنت من المسلمين. Now you want to believe. In Allah Ta'ala, it's too late. So it could refer to that every Christian before he died, the reality. So every Muslim also, every Kafir, everybody, before he died, the reality of the hereafter opens up. But then it's too late because remember we said Iman bil ghaib. That's the main thing. You have to Alladhina yu'minuna bil ghaib. So once things open up in front of you, that's not Iman bil ghaib anymore. It's of no value. Right? So that was the other explanation of that verse, but that one it doesn't support this notion that Isa alayhi salam will come back again. But anyway, even if you take that explanation, it doesn't matter. I told you there's a book of Nuzul Isa by Moulana Shanur Kashmiri and Moulana Mufti Shafi done work on this. Over 18 narrations that speak about the return of Isa alayhi salam. Are you guys with me? So it forms one of the fundamentals of our faith. If anybody denies this, he can never be from the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Okay, read the next verse. Who read this? You read the next one. Okay, the next verse has more or less the same subject, nothing really extra in there, not too much extra. Read. Try to turn with your right hand, always try to turn with your right. Positive things with the right hand, negative things with the left hand. Cleaning your nose, going to toilet, uh, touching, cleaning something dirty, picking up your shoes, right hand, turning the Quran, pages of the Quran, turning the pages of the Kitab, shaking, giving somebody something. Remember that and also practice upon it. Teach it to your wives and children and everybody, inshallah.
وعنه رضي الله تعالى عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم والله لينزلن ابن مريم حكما عادلا وليكسرن الصليب وليقتلن الخنزير ليضعن الجزية ليتركن الفراشة فلا يسعى عليها ولتذهبن.
Okay, stop there. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Also on the authority of Abu Huraira, قال Rasulullah فينزلن ابن مريم Ibn Maryam will come down حكما as a ruler. We discuss this. عادلا, we discuss his importance. فليكسرن الصليب, he will break the cross. I told you he will debunk the concept of Trinity, etc. Even mean if this physical cross doesn't mean he won't break it. Just coincidentally, a couple of days ago, on the news app, they said the richest farmer in the world, the richest farmer in the world is in China, and he farms with pigs, with khinzir. He has I don't know how many million khinzirs that he sends to the abattoirs every day. He's the richest farmer in the world on account of the amount of khinzir he has. Anyway, it's for Chinese person. So when Isa comes, khinzir, the Christians will vanish. They all have to accept Islam, or they will be killed. So there'll be nobody to eat the khinzir. And if there's no one to eat the khinzir, then obviously nobody's going to farm it. Right? Carry on. Carry on. Oh yeah. وَلَا يَتْرُكَنَّ الْقِلَاسَ. They will leave definitely the young camel. I told you, camel is the most beloved animal. فَلَا يَسْأَى عَلَيْهَا. Nobody will make effort to get it because, like I told you, it doesn't. Wealth will flow freely. ولا تذهبن الشحناء والتباغض والتحاسد. Then envy, hatred, malice, etc. will leave the heart of the people. Will be very, very pleasant, comfortable conditions. ولا يدعون إلى المال فلا يقبله أحد. That you will call towards wealth. Isa will call. Here's money, here's zakat, here's charity, but everybody will have pleasant conditions. They will not want to accept it. Right? Rawahu Muslimun, Imam Muslim narrates this riwayat. Wafi riwayat, one riwayat, lahuma also of Muslim Shareef in Bukhari, just was, كيف أنتم إذا نزل ابن مريم فيكم وإمامكم منكم. That Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is addressing somebody and said, tell me, كيف أنتم, what will your condition be? What will you do? إذا نزل ابن مريم, when Ibn Maryam Isa comes, فيكم, amongst you, وإمامكم منكم, and your Imam will be from amongst you. And who does Imam refer to? The Mahdi. Right. I tell you, Qalas refer to a young, healthy camel, which is like a very much beloved um, item amongst the Arabs. Thus, فلا يسأل أحد. Nobody will make even effort to get it. Shahna'u, hatred, right? And this will be also because they say the love for the dunya will be decreased. Actually, interesting point they're making that all of these illnesses, hatred, enmity, jealousy, etc., etc., it's a direct result of excessive love for the dunya. It is a direct result of excessive love for the dunya. So when excessive love for the dunya goes away, then automatically the illnesses goes away. So وإمامكم منكم. Yeah, he says that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is actually extolling a virtue for this ummah. And this virtue is this, that you are Ummah Muhammadiyah, you will have your own Imam from amongst you. You won't have an external person to come in. Isa alayhi salam will not come as your Imam. Your Imam that will lead you in prayer, etc., will be from your Ummah, from Ummah Muhammadiyah. And that will be the Mahdi. Carry on reading the next one.
وعن جابر رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا تزال طائفة من أمتي يقاتلون عن الحق ظاهرين إلى يوم القيامة قال فينزل عيسى بن مريم فيقول أميرهم تعالى سل لنا فيقول لا إن بعضكم على بعض مراء لا تجرمة الله هذه الأمة.
Right, this is similar to what is mentioned earlier. See, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وعن جابر قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا تزال طائفة من أمتي يقاتل الحق. Fa'il is طائفة. There will always be a group that will continue from my ummah. يقاتلون, fighting upon the truth. Means fighting for the right reason. ظاهرين, apparent triumph إلى يوم القيامة, till the day of Qiyamah. So what does it tell you? From the time of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam till Qiyamah Day, despite the degeneration in the morals of the people, despite the Muslims being on the back foot, I told you, remember I told you, I mentioned earlier, the last time the Muslims was on the front foot was about 350 years ago, when they went out to make jihad against the enemies of Allah Ta'ala, when the Ottoman Empire went out and fought against the Europeans. Remember that, about 350 years ago. The last time a Muslim leader died on the battlefield was Sultan Tipu. Other than that, the Muslim leaders were always hiding away. Although, yeah, if you follow the war in Gaza, you see Yahya Sinwar, he died on the battlefield. But okay, here he's speaking about where the proper Khilafat in that. So that shows you for the last 350 years, the Muslims were on the back foot for many reasons. We'll discuss that another time, inshallah. But be that as it may, despite them being on the back foot, there will be pockets here and there that will be fighting the enemies of Allah Ta'ala. There will be ulama that will be on the haq in between. If you follow the history, recent history, we know there was the Taliban in Afghanistan, there was the Chechen Mujahideen. If you look at in Libya, when the French occupied Libya, Umar al-Mukhtar, what a legend he was, subhanAllah. They were just saying, I just saw a post this morning about him. And then today you got Hamas. Well, Allah Ta'ala, no, I'm not saying they are on the haq, whatever, or any group or the Taliban, but you can yourself think whether, but see what the hadith is saying, لا يزال طائفة ممن يقاتلون على الحق ظاهرين إلى يوم القيامة. So always there will be this group, always there will be this group, and they will be dominant. ظاهرين, one you can say they're dominant, or they're professing the true Shariah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam until the arrival of the Mahdi, until the Mahdi will come. This will continue. And then when the Mahdi will come, so the Mahdi will come, and then Isa alayhi salam will come. The Mahdi, out of respect, will give him the opportunity. تعال صلي لنا فيقول لا إن بعضكم, did you are the Ummah Muhammadiyah, and you will have your own leader. If I tell you ألا إن بعضكم على بعض أمراء, أمراء جماعة أمير, تكريمة الله هذه الأمة, as a honor for this ummah. رواه مسلم, this riwayat applies to Muslim Sharif. وهذا الباب خالي عن الفصل الثاني, and this bab is empty, there's no فصل ثاني, right? There's only a فصل ثالث. Inshallah, you will do it, Moulana Nazeem. Exactly what you're still doing introduction to hadith, ne? He's going to tell you exactly how Mishkaat has authored the khususiyat or the unique features of each fasal that you also do. What is each fasal about? There's some history, beautiful history to that. Read the next hadith.
عن عبد الله بن عمرو رضي الله تعالى عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ينزل عيسى بن مريم الأرض فيتزوج ويولد له ويمكث 45 سنة ثم يموت ويدفن معي في قبري فأقوم أنا وعيسى بن مريم في قبر واحد بين أبي
Okay, nice, interesting hadith also. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. An Abdullah ibn Amrin. Remember, I got a vowels Amr, ne? Without the vowels Umar, غير منصرف, ne? عن عبد الله بن عمرو نريت له بن عمر قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ينزل عيسى بن مريم إلى الأرض. Isa is, it is, what is it? Mabani doesn't change. Isa, the son of Maryam alayhi salam, he will descend to the earth. Then فَيَتَزَوَّجُ, he will marry. That's why when the ulama speak about, they give nikah bayans and they speak about the virtue of nikah, they tell you always that all the Anbiya alayhi salatu wa taslim, besides Hazrat Yahya alayhi salam got married. Isa alayhi salam, although in his first stint in the dunya he never get married, but even when he comes for a second time, he will marry, right? فيتزوج ويولد له, children, it will be born for him. ويمكث 45 سنة, he will stay till the age of about 45 years. ثم يموت, then he will die. فيدفن معي, Nabi says, you will be buried with me في قبري, in my قبر. فأقوم أنا وعيسى بن مريم في قبر واحد. Then me and Isa alayhi salam, we will, right? وعيسى بن مريم في قبر بين أبي بكر وعمر, between أبو بكر وعمر. رواه ابن الجوزي في كتاب الوفاء. Ibn al-Jawzi narrates this riwayat in Kitab al-Wafa. So this riwayat says here that Isa alayhi salam will live till the age of 45 years. There's another riwayat that speaks about Isa alayhi salam will come from the heavens at the age of 33, and then he will live for another 7 years. Hence his age will be 40 years. And this one here speaks about 45 years. I told you, I'll give you a generic answer. Many a times in Arabic, there seem to be contradiction between the numbers. Now, I don't know if when you were in school, you went to school, you learn of rounding off to the nearest 10, rounding off to the nearest 5, rounding off to the nearest 100, etc., etc. So, like if something is 103, you just say 100. If something is 107, you say 110, right? So the Arabs were very fond of this. They would always round off things. So sometimes you see like a riwayat will say, one will say 43, 44, the other riwayat will say 40. You're just rounding it off to the nearest 10. So if you understand, so if you get this question in exams, that وفي هذا الرواية يوجد هذا العدد وفي رواية أخرى يوجد هذا العدد. In one riwayat you get this number, and in the other riwayat you get this. Simple answer you give. هذا بسبب حذف الكسر. This is because we just dropped off the kasr, the extra number that's over and above. So that is one answer. The next thing is here. Nabi Sassam said that he will be buried. He said, Ma'i fi qabri, with me in my qabr. Remember, Nabi Sassam was buried in the house of Aisha Siddiqa. And one of the reasons he was buried in the house of Aisha Siddiqa is because he clearly mentioned that Anbiya are buried at the place where they pass away. Right? So, just by the way, while we're discussing this here, there are clear hadith that says you're not supposed to embellish the grave. You must keep the grave as simple as possible, right? That's our belief. Then you get these people that they make fancy tombstones around the grave, and they sometimes even they make mazars and all that type of thing. Then they try to use Nabi Sallallahu grave as a proof. The simple answer is this here, that Nabi, no Sahabi or anything built a tombstone or a mazar or mausoleum around the grave of Nabi Sallallahu. Nabi mentioned that a Nabi is buried where he passed away. So he passed away in the house of Aisha Siddiqa. So he was buried in the house. I started to say something was built after that. Then with the progress of time and people wanted to interfere with the body of Nabi Sallallahu, hence it was fortified, was strengthened. Are you with me? So specifically nothing was built around his house. Are you with me? So interesting thing here is, so as Abu Bakr was also buried there. As Aisha Siddiqa had the idea that you want to reserve the place also in the house because the Nabi was the husband, as Abu Bakr was the father, right? But when as Umar passed away, he requested as Aisha, because your house, etc., will you afford me the opportunity? And then she allowed us out of respect of Umar when his illness, when he requested, and then she made a wasiyat that she will be buried in the normal graveyard of the believers. Mentioned some interesting fact here that Hazrat Hassan radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he also, before he passed away, he tried to make a bequest that he must also be buried there. But unfortunately, that place was reserved for Isa alayhi salam. So alhamdulillah, that brings us to the end of the chapter. I told you there is a book of Mufti. If anybody wants more of this, of Mufti, if you get the Rasail of Moulana Shah Kashmiri, I got it by my house. I can bring it for you. There's over 80 riwayat there with regards to Nuzul Isa. More or less the same thing. And we've done a lot of this detail in the previous abwab that you must, but we'll do that again, inshallah, with regards to Isa alayhi salam, how will come down, etc., etc. We'll discuss that. But inshallah, tomorrow we'll start a new chapter. Okay, we can open there, inshallah.